All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, January the 17th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, sir.
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Must be Tuesday. We're on the air.
It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. What are you eating there?
I'm eating some yummy jerky, man. Yum, 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 yum.
Oh, you're rubbing your belly, I say.
Yes, you got to rub your belly when something's yummy.
There you go. Well, you know what it is today, right?
January 17th.
Exactly. And also?
Don't tell me it's National Belly Rubbing Day.
It's National Belly Rub Day. Happy National Belly Rub
there
Day.
we go.
There you go.
Look.
Happy National Belly Rub Day, everybody. Give your belly a rub today for your for what the hell, for whatever reason.
For luck, like a Buddha.
Just if you're gonna rub somebody else's belly, make sure you know them before you rub them.
If you don't, make sure we're filming it for you.
This is true. Yes.
That could be funny. But especially if you've got a dog, dogs love belly rubs.
This is true. This is true. What else is it? It's also this is another very important date of the year, especially in the alcohol industry. This is a very important day in January specifically.
January 17th is an important day in the alcohol industry?
Yep.
Why would that be, John?
Well, there is this thing that everybody attempts to do on occasion called Dry January, right? And
doing
Dry January. It's a New Year's resolution, right? They're doing Dry January. They're not drinking beer or whatever. So today is important because it is indeed it's ditch New Year's resolutions day.
Have you ditched your New Year's resolutions?
I beat everybody to it. I didn't make any.
Neither did I, actually. I was like,
anyway,
why bother? It's just no point. Every time I make a New Year's resolution, the only one that stuck through a year was, and John knows I like making fun of people.
No,
I love it. But I made a resolution one year to not take the easy ones. Right?
Yeah,
let's face it. Some people will serve you up beach balls, and you got to smack those things. So I made a resolution one year not to jump on those easy ones.
Just take the ones that are very, very, very thought provoking.
Yes, when you can really show that you can very cleverly make fun of somebody.
Right. Yeah. That's the important one.
No, those are the fun ones.
Well, happy ditch New Year's resolutions day anyway. So
we got other happy things.
We do.
There's a reason I'm wearing this shirt today.
Happy 10th anniversary
to our friends at
Bolero Snort.
John and I were there on Friday with
Matt, of course,
with Matt and Scott and Bob.
And Scott and Bob were there,
and a bunch of other people. Guys from Hackensack were there.
Guys from Hackensack were there. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, we had some fun.
We did. And,
drank some good beer. Went for insulin shot after, and good to go.
I only had like one or two of the short pours of the
same
milk, if you will.
The pastry stouts.
The
pastry stouts that they love to. And the thing is, this is their shtick. This is what they release on their anniversaries, and people love it.
But I will say they did. I had a beak. Actually, I had a couple beaks, but I had the steam beer they did, the Steamboat.
Oh, that was really good.
It's a very good beer. It was it was under 3% too, and it was very tasty. So,
that was
so. Kudos
tasty
to them. Happy anniversary to them. Happy 10th anniversary to them, and also happy 6th anniversary to Icarus down in Lakewood.
Icarus. It's been 6 years, really.
6 years. 6 years. Yep.
And will they when they hit 7? Will they be in their new spot? They'll be in their new spot for 7, won't they?
They should be, but it's going to be close.
We'll see.
It's going to be close. It's going to be close. So
we'll see.
But
so anybody who hasn't heard, they'll move to Bricktown eventually,
right?
Out of their Lakewood locations. So.
Exactly. So that's underway. But depending on the, it's going to be close. It's going to be close whether they're celebrating 7 years there or in there not too long after they celebrate their 7th.
It'll be interesting drinking in Bricktown because I went to elementary school in Bricktown.
Well, there you go. Well, so then you drank in Bricktown then.
Well, yeah, juice. Well, there's no such thing as juice boxes ages and ages ago.
Yeah, there wasn't. It wasn't just the Welch's grape juice with the puncture the can on the top and pour it out. And
I remember the little jugs.
Yep, of course.
Yep, yeah. Those things. And,
so anyway.
But then you had your milk containers that were impossible to open, especially at that age.
Forget about it.
Dexterity, you just tore the thing apart, and now they got little holes in the side. The kids stick. I mean, kids
exactly
today. It's so easy.
So easy. You think about what we had to do, and I don't want to take any much more time on this, but think about what we had to do when we wanted to figure out what the lyrics were in a song, or who sung that song, or who was in that movie.
You had to catch it on tape record it off the radio. If you could time it, you had to sit there and then over and over and over and over.
And even then, there were some that were like, just depending on how the vocalist actually sang, you really weren't getting the exact words, or possibly not getting the right word.
Yeah, but there was a bathroom on the right.
Now, pick up the phone, bing, 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 bing. Oh, that's it, cool, done.
But also, another thing about our childhood that made us really tough is those little Hunt's Cups chocolate puddings. You take the thing off, and there's pudding left in there, and you know you're going to cut your damn tongue. But you get your tongue in there, and
you do it anyway.
You got to
do it anyway. Do it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Okay, so two old guys kvetching about stuff.
Exactly. Enough about that. I could use a beer. Let's move on to our guest today. Speaking of new beer and new places in New Jersey, it's 3 news I got in one second.
And it's a new brewery in an old place in New Jersey.
A new brewery in an old place. So why don't we bring on the guest and he can tell us all about it? How about that?
Let's do that.
All right. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Andy Gioia from Birdsmouth Brewing in Oceanport, in Fort Monmouth, actually. So,
and for me.
Yeah.
How's it going, Andy?
Guys?
Good, Andy. What's going on?
We need like one of those like soundboard buttons where you can go.
Yeah, we should. We definitely should have we should have a cart. You know, like just. Well, wait a minute. Now I'm dating myself with that too.
A cart. Wow.
I want to add to the previous conversation. Also, remember like bar arguments before you could Google things?
Oh yeah,
like they would go on for days.
Oh, there was a bar I was at that was in Mystic, Connecticut. It's called John's.
I've been to Mystic.
Have you been to John's?
I've never been to John's.
John's was the local watering hole. And it was cool because there was an atlas and an almanac and a dictionary behind the bar, and it was straight up for settling arguments.
That's amazing. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. It's
not at all. Nope. No need. But that was, and then you'd always have a couple of guys that were regulars in the bar that would start them. And just intentionally, just to shit stir, just to get it going.
All those guys are very frustrated now because arguments are over in 2 seconds.
2 seconds, they're done. You gotta love it. So how are you on this fine evening, Andy?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm hiding out in my basement because my house is pretty tiny, and I had to find a spot that I could, drink some beers and actually talk with you guys.
That works.
I got a 2-year-old upstairs.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's hard to drink with them when they're 2. They can't open the cans.
This is true.
Exactly. Well, actually, my son's getting pretty good at using the Lucre tap at the brewery. So now, whenever he's there, he has to pour beers, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "I don't know if this is cool. Like, is this all right?" Well, he's getting good at it. I'm like, "All right, very, very proud."
When my oldest daughter was 2, 3, she's right in there. She used to actually open the refrigerator and take out a beer that was on the bottom shelf and hand it to me so that I could give her a tiny little sip, just a tiny little, like, wet her lips with it because she liked the taste of it. And she's going to be 29 on Thursday. So,
well, there we go. She still like beer?
Yeah. Not tons, but there's specific styles. Like she likes wheat beers. Yeah, she'll drink a couple of things here and there, but she won't. Not everything. But my younger daughter likes more beer.
My son try a beer. Ironically, my wife's been pregnant the whole time we've been open, so she hasn't been able to drink our beers. But I gave it to my 2-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So, I would always let my kids try what I was drinking, and neither of my oldest boys drink beer because they remember how awful it tasted when they were younger. Because they get an IPA. And when you're that young, IPAs
my
are
first
awful.
beer was actually at Beck's at Mulligan's in Farmingdale.
There you go.
Really?
The first time I burnt my hand. You remember those skillets they used to give you?
Yeah.
Come out like screaming hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I burnt my hand on it. And my dad actually like gave me the rest of his beer to finish and like hold it because it was cold and everything. Right. And I remember that and I liked it. I'd be curious to like be able to go back in time and like taste that beer now.
Right? Exactly.
Something has happened on the show that I don't think has ever happened before.
What's that?
John was the first one to open a beer.
No, I got one right here.
Oh, you had yours open already. Okay. It's usually
that's why I opened it because I saw it poured up before we started the show. That's why I did.
Okay. Usually the guest is the first, or I'm the first. But okay.
No, I'm just off camera with mine.
So it still hasn't happened. So I'm going to pour mine.
Pour yours. Go for it.
Well, what are you drinking there, Andy?
So my uncle is from Tennessee, so he brought me this Hills and Pills. I've never had it before until tonight.
Where's it
I'm
from?
actually trying it.
Hills and Pills.
From Nashville. Racket River Brewing.
Racket?
Yeah.
Racket River Brewing.
Racket River. I thought that was by Lake Placid. That's weird.
Racket.
Holy shit! It is in New York.
Okay. it's like
well, he's from Nashville, and he's
from Nashville. There you go.
That's in Tupper Lake, New York.
So went from Lake Placid down to Nashville and back up to New Jersey. There
you guys have heard of this brewery?
Oh, I've been there. That's a pretty damn good beer, actually.
It is a very good beer. Well, see, you guys know more than me when it comes to that, for sure.
There you go.
Oh, we travel, and when we travel, the breweries are the main attraction.
You build a vacation around the brewery.
Well, I gotta do that because I need to do some more traveling and see some more beers and drink some more beers, especially just in New Jersey. I mean, a lot of people are opening awesome breweries, making awesome beer, and I gotta do some tasting.
Yeah, we gotta get out there. We'll definitely do that. What are you drinking there, Samurai?
Well, I actually got a 6-pack of this stuff.
Oh, hey!
So we'll be drinking this. This is Birdsmouth Dark Lager. And when I was there, you had Black Lager on tap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm actually canning that this week too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, but this the Dark Lager, Czech style dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Czech style?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And one of my favorite styles of beer. And I'm loving this.
I love that.
As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to be drinking Czech darks all night long.
Well, there you go.
It holds a special dark lagers hold a special place in my heart, and I think everyone kind of feels the same way lately. It's just
absolutely. You're looking at two Schwarzbier's Mave Pivo Hordes right here.
Yep,
just the two of us.
Massively so.
On that note, mind you, I'm actually drinking an amber Keller beer.
Oh,
from Treehouse.
Nice.
There's not a damn thing wrong with that.
Called Remote. So there you go. Like, look at this. Look at the color of that Keller beer. I mean, it's like
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for making yummy beer.
I got to tell you, to quote a Matt Potensky phrase, there's zero suck in that beer.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
It's pretty good. Anyway, but we're not here to talk about Treehouse. And we're not here to talk about
my glass wasn't big enough, so I have to open another one.
That's those damn 12 ounces.
You mean your glass is too big?
That's my glass is too big.
Your glass was small.
My cup did not runneth over.
It did not runneth over. Right?
Yeah, I like when the cup gets filled up too.
Oh yeah, right. You got it.
That's. Oh, this is gonna be pretty.
This is really cool too because it's definitely nice and crisp and clean. It's got a nice amount of caramel happening there, but it's still bitter. I'm still getting that bitter finish too. It's nice.
You want to see something pretty?
Pretty tasty. Go for it.
Nice.
That's a very nice beer.
That is.
Wait, hold that up again. Hold that up again.
Up well.
That is a beautiful thing.
There you go.
Screenshot.
It's not often I can take a screenshot of the show with your face covered.
Very, very nice.
I try.
Anyway. That's just why I disc jockeyed in college. I had a face for radio.
Face for radio, right? Exactly. All right. So let's get started with this. We got to ask you. I know you mentioned Bex before, but we asked the same question to everybody, at least the first time they're on the show, for their first question. What's the first that you can remember? What's the first craft beer you ever remember having?
Sierra Nevada.
Sierra Nevada Pale?
Yep, 100%. And I thought it was like the hoppiest thing in the world. I was up in Vermont with my brother, who's, a lot older than me. I think I was probably like 13 or 14. Yeah, I guess like maybe 13 years old. And he gave me one. He's like, they're really strong. It's crazy flavor, blah, 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 blah. And I remember drinking it and I was like, wow, that's crazy how, hoppy it was. And then you just think about how much more tolerant of hops we are these days that like now Sierra Nevada is like middle of the road type stuff.
The first time
I ever remember Sierra Nevada very well. Oh
yeah, that's awesome. That's definitely a good beer to go back in time and have be your first kind of thing,
And when I was first going to Vermont all the time, that was like there was a lot of craft breweries up there. I was drinking like first time I ever had a porter was up there, and it was cool because my brother was into that scene in Vermont enough that he was kind of like bringing beers back and kind of introducing me to all that shit pretty early.
I could tell you the first dark beer I ever had. I remember clear as day. First time I had it.
Dark craft beer or dark beer?
Dark. I said dark beer.
Guinness?
Oh, for me, it was Guinness.
Beck's Dark.
Beck's Dark.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
So, anyway, Sierra Nevada Pale is definitely a good beer to start.
It's such a go-to. I remember when I used to travel for work, we were working in malls, setting up stores, and the IT guy and I would go out for lunch, and if there was a California Pizza Kitchen in the mall, we'd go there because we knew they had Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, you get a fresh one. It's awesome.
Oh, it's amazing.
Still love that beer.
Yeah.
And that Newark strain Chico strain of yeast that they use.
That shit's everywhere.
Anyway.
Valentine, right?
Valentine, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Go ahead, what?
No, I was going to say I've never actually gotten to have a Valentine from back in the day.
Oh.
I would have loved to. Ahead of its time.
Oh, yeah. No, it definitely was ahead of its time. It had an IPA back then, the Burton Ale that they did. Whatchamacallit. Actually, somebody brought, I couldn't bring myself to take a taste of it, but somebody actually cracked open a bottle. It was a bottle, which means it was probably more oxidized than a can would have been. But in a can, there would have been like too much botulism going on from back in the day. But but whatchamacallit, it was a bottle, but it was from the, I guess, late 40s, early 50s, and it was a can. It was a bottle of Burton Ale from.
I would have had to have at least tasted it.
I smelt it. It smelled fantastic. I was just too nervous to take a sip of a 60-something-year-old beer.
Holy shit!
No, I'd be too damn curious.
No, if it's a 60-something-year-old, Belgian beer, or
red wine,
or wine is good enough.
The Fur Farm guys.
What's that?
You ever meet the Fur Farm guys? They
trees and stuff.
Oh yeah, they were there when I was down there. Yeah.
They brought me a 30-year-old bottle of Triple Bock from Sam Adams,
really?
And we drank it together. It was delicious. It was like so, like I don't know. It was just such a big, thick kind of flavor and everything else. It was unbelievable. So oxidized and it was delicious.
Oh yeah, I have had that. It was I had a 94, I would say, in 2014, so it was 20 years old at that point. And it was again oxidized, but it hadn't turned into soy sauce yet, so it was still
this wasn't very soy saucy either. It was very very chocolate. It was good.
Hey John, don't we have 2 Triple Bocks put aside?
Yep.
You still
we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to do that at some point.
John, there was someone up for sale, and John reaches out to me. He's like, "You want to split the cost of these?" I'm like, absolutely. So we gotta crack those open one day.
There you go. Dave Campanelle just weighed in really quick. He wanted to say, but if the 60-year-old beer was brewed for a Giants Super Bowl victory, he would drink it. Yes.
Well, says the guy who claims you're not a Giants fan.
Says Dave claims I'm not a Giants fan. Why? Because I bitch so much?
No, because those games where you've completely disappeared, you're not even watching the game.
Oh no, I'm watching the game. I'm just look. The bottom line is, when they suck in the beginning of the game, I'm bitching like crazy. When the refs suck in the beginning of the game, I'm bitching like crazy. When they start to do good, I stop and I watch the game, and I enjoy it at that point. So, believe me, I would have been posting a lot more towards the end of the game on Sunday had the outcome not been what it was.
John's rants during a Giants game are legendary to the point that I run a John Fladong Giants rant over under. The person who just commented is the current leader of that over under.
Well, what's he complaining about?
Because he was smart enough to keep taking unders.
Unders, yeah, exactly. All right, so all right, Andy. What got you into brewing? What was what first inspired you to say, "Hey, I got to brew beer"?
So it's a pretty funny story. So me and my wife had an apartment in Asbury, and we had the cable guy needed to come. So he comes, and he didn't show up until like 9:30 at night. And I happen to have some craft
that
beers.
Early?
Yeah, dude, it was nuts. And he's like, I might have to come back and blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, you got to get this done for me. So he's like, all right. So I'm like, you want a beer? And he's like, sure. So I open up the fridge, and he actually sees a bunch of different like craft beers and shit that I had in there. So he's like, oh, do you brew? And I was like, no, I never even thought about that. And so he looked around my kitchen. He's like, nah, man. He's like, your kitchen's too small to brew. And I was like, kind of a little taken aback by that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna brew a beer in here. So actually, the next day, I went to Brewer's Apprentice, got a carboy. My wife actually bought me my first carboy, and I started home brewing. And it was kind of like I fell in love. Started reading books, and then
how many boilovers did you have?
So I used to run a turkey fryer in my living room.
Jeez.
On a wood floor. Dude, it was nuts. On a wood floor, I'd have to soak towels in water and slide it underneath the burner so it didn't burn a hole in the floor.
In case the fire marshal in Asbury Park is listening to this right now, he's not doing that anymore.
He doesn't live there anymore.
No. So 500 D Lake Drive, my neighbors, like, there's a whole hallway of apartments, and I'd be carrying 2 propane tanks into my apartment. And people would be like, what the fuck is he doing in there? And then it would just, the whole floor would reek of like, boiled malt and shit. It was hilarious. And then it would get so hot in my apartment. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. My wife would be on the couch, like just sweating, and I'd be sitting over a turkey fryer because I wanted to do full, 10, 15 gallon boils. It was ridiculous. But that's how it all started. It was the cable guy dared me. I couldn't brew a beer.
So Jim Carrey got you to brew beer.
Yeah.
That's funny.
The night got, so he was just to continue the story. So he told me he couldn't hook up the cable because he couldn't get the wire through there. So he's like, we have to go through the incinerator shaft. So he's like, he was too fat to get through this incinerator shaft. So I actually climbed up the incinerator shaft myself and handed him through the wire.
Through
the hole that he drilled.
That now also ties into Matt's comment.
It does. Okay. Matt's comment was, safety third. Yes. Safety third.
Exactly.
First very concern of Andy's here.
Yeah.
It was fun. My buddy Derek, one of the brewers at Birdsmouth, he actually saved one of from the first batch I ever made. So it's still there. And it was dog shit, but I'm curious to open it up.
I actually have a bottle of the first batch I ever brewed. It's about 30 years old, so it'll never be opened.
Yeah, I don't plan on opening that one either. We'll see. We'll just hang on to it. Yep. But then after, being obsessed as a home brewer, I decided to, try to see if I could go pro. Went to American Brewers Guild. After that, got an internship in the industry and then just kind of worked my way up from there. I have a background in microbiology from my undergrad, which helped a lot through the whole thing.
Nice.
And just trying to consume as much information as I could as a young home brewer. And honestly, home brewing to this day has probably taught me more about the actual brewing process than anything. I mean, it's such an awesome hobby. And, the process is still the same. It's just bigger volumes. Mm-hmm. So just learned so much at that time because I was just so obsessed with the hobby that I was just trying to consume as much information as I can. And I try to keep that up today where I'm just trying to stay learning.
Yeah, you always want to learn. You don't want to get stale or anything. So.
It's easy to just, once you're kind of in a groove brewing, it's easy to just be like, all right, let's just hit cruise control. And, we're making the beers that we are. Let's just, stay the course. But you got to keep learning because there's a lifetime of information to try to consume.
Oh, hell yeah.
We have met very few brewers on this show and even in our travels that have said, yeah, I'm just going to keep making what I make.
Yeah, exactly.
Every brewer is like, I want to push it. I want to see what flavors I can get. Even with the beers I have, I want to see if I can make them better.
We're a curious bunch, and that's awesome. And that's why the industry is so cool, is that everyone's trying to – the goal is always let's try to get to the next level and learn the next thing. And we get to do that together a lot because everyone's trying to, strive for that goal. I don't think anyone's really motivated by, not like shitty things. They're motivated by let's try to make something better. Let's try to make something cool. And that's why I love this industry.
Mm-hmm. It's so awesome. There's a lot of aspects of this industry that are ridiculously cool and, unlike any other industry, but that's definitely one of them though too. Really quick, Tom Mulvihill just said, hey, you all. Hey, Tom.
Hey, how you doing, Beer Whisperer? You all around good guy, you.
Exactly. All right, so you homebrewed, you decide you want to brew, you get some apprenticeships and you start working. Where did that take you? Where did that Yeah.
So I started as an intern at Kane. Worked there, eventually got to head brewer. It was an awesome experience, learned so much there. And then, eventually got the bug where I was like, you know what, I think I want to go out and try to do my own thing. Always had a passion for lagers, just easy drinking type beer is kind of like what I've always liked to do. And I feel like to do them right, you kind of have to do them all the time. And that's how that kind of evolved into, all right, let's do only lagers. I don't brew only lagers because it's the only beer I like. It's just because I want to do them as well as I can. I still love IPAs. I still like everything that everyone else is doing in the industry. It's just that, my heart was kind of with lagers. And also I feel like to do them really, really well and be able to, I'm a tinker. As a brewer, I kind of like to tinker around with the process a lot. So I wanted to kind of close the scope as much as I could and be like, all right, I want to spend basically the rest of my life working on a very small subset of beers and try to make them as good as I can.
Gotcha.
Opposed to trying to paint a broader picture.
It's lagers only. Speaking for the lager room guys, we condone this behavior.
We do. We do. Very, 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 very condoning. Really quick, going back to what we were saying about this industry. Matt Potensky said, I like how open brewers are to share info as well. Absolutely.
Without
there's no secrets. What do you want to know? Let's talk. You
get a couple of brewers together standing around, and if you're not a brewer and you listen to them talk, you're going to have a headache.
Yep.
Within minutes, because the things they start talking about, because I did homebrew, but at the level of brewing that Matt brews at, that you brew at, it'll break your brain listening to some of these things. Like I said, there's more information to try to consume than you can possibly do in a lifetime. I mean, when you talk to guys like, Michael Lewis or, Joe Hertrick, these dudes that are just like, it'll blow your mind, the kind of information that they have. And also to the point of sharing information, I've never shared a piece of information that I didn't get something valuable back.
Sure.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, you can't.
Oh yeah. There's a give and take. There's a yin and yang, if you will, but,
and you can't get anywhere in this industry without help from everyone around you, without help from the community.
And that's another aspect of this industry that's so amazing. It's like it's everybody's for each other. It's one big happy family.
And those who don't get it usually don't succeed.
Yeah, I mean, there's always an outlier, right?
There's a few outliers I could name, but I'm not going to.
No. We all know who they are, but we're not going to talk about it. But it's very few. The percentage is very, very small. The very, very, very overwhelming large majority of everybody is like-minded, like we're talking about. So, all right. So you decide to. So you're brewing now. You're going through everything you do. You decide, okay, I got to open a brewery. When was that?
So it was longer ago than I would have liked. It takes a long time. I mean, we hit some roadblocks and stuff.
No.
It was probably,
I think we've only ever heard one guest on the show say, no, it was quick, man. We decided to open a brewery and the town was great.
And that particular guest bought somebody else's brewery.
Well, that's I will say so. I
think it's only one we've ever heard that story from.
Yeah. I can say that if you eliminated, the beginning part of the story and just started from my current location, because the town was awesome, all of those things were great.
Right.
Well, I had a whole story before that.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, and if you want to share any of that, but
Yeah, so I left Kane, and Kane was super cool. I'm indebted to him for all of the help over the years. So I left there to start a brewery, and thinking it was going to be in multiple locations. I think I toured every warehouse in New Jersey, and got pretty close on some leases. Actually signed one, and then it wound up falling through. So that was after, a couple years of going at this. And I actually went back to Kane, which is crazy. And then I left again. So it's like I quit the same job for the same reason twice. I don't think many people can say that.
That's very odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do that in any industry, this is the industry to do
exactly.
that.
And again, Kane was super cool about it. So then I found this spot in Oceanport, in the old commissary building in Fort Monmouth. Awesome location. You know, I've always kind of had my eye on Fort Monmouth, thinking it was super cool. And it's an old military base. The commissary building is the old grocery store.
And you've got the old commissary sign.
So we took the old commissary sign, made it into our menu, and everything was kind of pretty smooth since we found that spot. I mean, being the first through the wall in anything is kind of tough, especially in a town that's trying to, you know,
no pun intended.
Rebuild it. Yeah. exactly.
We're laughing because we know what he meant there. But it's up to Andy if he wants to share why that's funny.
Yeah. Burst through the wall. But once we got through the wall, it was pretty smooth sailing. And yeah, it's the first person to try to go through that, especially when they're trying to, you know, rebuild an old military base. So I hit a couple little snags, but nothing major, because I think the town and the community realized that, you know, having a brewery is a good thing. And I've had an unbelievable amount of people coming out that are just pumped to have something in the town. So I'm really happy to be there. It's been a great journey since then. And yeah, we'll just keep cranking out brews and trying to get better, and hopefully people come and check it out.
I think awesome. I mentioned to you, the building that you're in has got a special place for me.
Yeah.
As a small child, I would come shopping in the commissary with my mom. She was allowed to shop there because my father was in the Army. He was a Nam. So it's just, John will tell you.
Yep.
Because we pulled up in front of the brewery at the same time. And I told him, this is going to be a little emotional for me.
Yeah. It's crazy how many cool stories we have with people coming in and saying, you know, that just story like that. I used to come here with my dad. I used to come here with my grandfather, blah, blah, blah. And that's why, you know, the menu is the commissary menu. And also we're actually putting up the commissary's motto. Before they demoed the facade, I pulled the motto off. It's little, you know, plastic letters, probably like 6 inches by 6 inches. But it's small enough to know you and large enough to serve you was the commissary's motto. So I saved it, and that's now awesome. I got to stick it up on the wall. So now we have the commissary menu, or our menu is the old commissary sign, and then we'll have the actual slogan up on the wall too. So I want to keep that spirit alive, because there is a lot of people that have a connection with that.
No, and I thank you for that. And it's funny because I took a picture of it, sent it to my brother. He goes, "Is that the commissary?" Now he was only there once or twice. I was there all the time, and I'm like, yeah. I said, "There's a brewery in it now." He's like, "I can't," because it's hard to express how cool that is.
Yeah, I know. I dig it too.
It's awesome. It is awesome.
Is he planning to make a trip up here from Florida and go? So because I got to be there that day. So
yeah, if I can get him up here. You know my brother. My brother does what he wants to do on his timeline when he wants to do it, but we were not going to get to that. I did open my second. I opened my second beer.
Go for it.
Oh man! All right.
So to go with my shirt, beak.
So the other part of oh nice. What is that? Oh, Bolero, sweet.
And it is a dark Czech lager. And when I was there for their 10th anniversary, I bought this amazing can glass. So they've got in the brewery, they've got like decals on their tanks, their cold room, the door into the brewery from the tap room. They've got these all over the place where they've done this. So they've got like a scuba diving bowl in a brew kettle. And so they've got these holes in it so you can get the color of the beer. So this is not the color of the can. You're seeing the beer through the logo. You're seeing the beer through this. This is... And I get in trouble all the time for buying too much barware. But when I came home with this, I said, "Hey, I bought another can," and I pulled it out, and I approved that purchase.
Hey.
So
that's a cool one.
I've been waiting for the Bolero guys to cash this in, and haven't. So a few CBCs ago, when I was looking at other locations, me, Bob, and Scott and Derek made a deal that whoever got their brewery open first had to go, or has the other team's guys come and wash their delivery van.
We
will
never
cashed it in.
We will not rat you out on that.
I don't care. I'll go wash the van. They won. Like
they won.
They haven't mentioned it to me yet.
Thankful.
I don't know if we were like too like banged up to realize that we made that bet, but we definitely made that bet.
Don't do it now, because if you had done it right at the beginning, that delivery van of theirs, John, you remember the nickname of that delivery van?
Oh yeah, what was it?
The rape van.
It
was no
that nickname.
That nickname, because it even it's like, hey, little girl, we have beer.
where no one needs to ever go. That's
we have puppies and candy.
But that van was disgusting.
Yeah,
and how often did that thing break down?
That's twice a day.
We get reports on New Jersey Let's Talk Craft Beer. Oh, there's the Bolero van broken down the side of the road again.
I think that's kind of like a rite of passage for when you open a brewery. Is you have to just have a beater as your first delivery van.
Oh, that van was awful. They've got much nicer vans now.
Well, I'm kind of in the situation now where it's like picking up some wholesale accounts, and now I got to figure out a delivery van, because it's going to be like, once it gets warm, I have to get a refrigerated truck. Like,
if Bob and Scott offer you a van, don't take it.
Yeah. Well, if they offer you one of the new Ram ones, then take that. That's fine.
Yeah. But the thing is, they've always got. But they're at the point now. They've gotten big enough. They've got wraps on their vans. That's
cool. Nice, I mean, that's what you got to do. I can't tell you how many times I see vans driving. Like, I'll be like, oh, there's the Cane van. There's the Cape May. There's Bolero. Like,
and
you got to get the wrap on there, man.
There goes one of Carton's whips.
Yeah, exactly.
Those little buggers.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, all right. I'm going to pour my third beer too. Andy, you drinking the same beer? Or are you having a
third?
You know, I poured the same. I don't have much beer in the house, and I realized that as soon as I was getting on the podcast. I'm like, oh shit, I don't have much beer, but I do have a holiday bock that I'm going to drink.
Oh, that's
very nice. I actually, you know what? I actually still have. I grabbed a few bottles of it. I still have one, but I couldn't drink a whole 750 at a holiday bock by myself tonight. So
what was really cool is the last time I was down there, Andy's making Bakken tans.
Yeah, the Bakken tan.
The Bakken tan was.
I just got to come up because I want to serve them on St. Patty's Day.
Nice,
but I got to come up with a good way to do it because it takes so long to pour with the Luger taps.
You were still trying to dial it in while we're there.
I've got them where they're pouring really, really nice, and the two beers are split.
Oh, you kind of get that sunset fade in there.
Yeah. And the two foams kind of come together. So
that's awesome.
Cappuccino, but it takes me 5 minutes to pour one of these.
Pour the damn beer, right? Yeah, exactly.
So if I'm going to actually serve these to the everybody, I'm going to have to figure out a good way to do it. I
still think the longest beer I've ever waited for was, and we just mentioned them earlier because the 6th anniversary was at Icarus, because they now have slow pour taps.
Oh, nice.
And I think they've got a learning curve going with it, because I did order one of the slow pours. I think it was 12 minutes.
Wow.
It seriously took a long.
There's a lot.
That's a slow pour.
That is.
I mean, in the world of slow pours, that's damn slow.
Yeah, there's a couple O's and slow on that.
Yeah, who's
O's and slow?
Who was the Mets pitcher that was nicknamed Slow?
I don't know.
What was his name? I can't remember. He was a little middle reliever, but they said he even stood slow. But that's what they should name. That's what they should name that the system they've got going there.
That's funny. My second beer, we talked about Tomave Pivos and we talked about Cane, so I'm drinking a Cane Tomave Pivo.
Ah, nice. That beer's good.
Little Hollow C. There you go.
I haven't had that.
I don't know why. They've released it 2 or 3 times already. So.
Yeah, I know. I've never actually picked that up.
No, my buddy that still works at Cane brought me one of them. Delicious.
Yeah, so cheers on that. And I'm drinking it in my brewery strong glass.
Oh, nice.
That's a beautiful thing.
I don't work on my glass for a game.
I gotta get. Oh man!
So
just break into my storage unit and
yeah.
I've got so much in this storage.
I got too many too. Yeah.
I've got a good question for you.
Hold that thought really quick while I'm thinking of it. Speaking of glasses, so Jess was cleaning up and doing something, and something fell. Not her fault by any means, but my surly glass. Okay, my surly glass, my little tulip, was sitting on the counter, and it broke. And it broke. This is Saturday. This is Saturday, right? So it breaks. So she's all upset. I'm so sorry because I brought it home from Surly, right? I got it from the brewery.
I'm gonna pour a little out
right?
for my home.
But it breaks, right? So now this is Saturday night. The next day, the Giants beat Minnesota to go to the divisional round, right? So we're all, high-fiving. We're watching the game. Yeah, everything's great, right? I turned to her and I look. I said, "Could you do me a favor next Saturday?" She goes, "What?" I go, "Can you break my human robot glass?"
Now you got to go to Surly and get a case just to break it.
Right.
I'm looking at my human robot milk tube right now, and no, I'm not sacrificing.
So, anyway, all right. So let's talk about. I mean, we mentioned from a couple of times here and there some of the beers you're making. So talk about your beers. Talk about what you've done so far, and then we'll take.
And that'll roll into the question I want to ask them. So that's good.
So our original lager is just kind of. I wanted to make a really clean, drinkable lager. I wasn't trying to match any style.
You succeeded
like that. Thank you. I wasn't trying to match a style profile or hit any kind of traditional thing, which I think you could say that pretty much about all our beers. So original lager 4.5, supposed to be really easy. Hirschbrucker hops. Actually a decent sized Whirlpool edition because I wanted to have just a little bit of hop aroma in there.
Nice.
And then dark lager. So I'll tell you the story about dark lager. Yeah. So originally I brewed. So we have 30 barrel tanks, 15 barrel brew house. So I brewed 15 of Oktoberfest and didn't realize, and this is such a bonehead move because it was only our second brew. I added all the specialty malt to the first brew. And I was just like, oh shit. What am I going to do about the second half of the brew? Yeah. So I tasted the wort and I was like, no, this is it. This is what I want to be our Oktoberfest. So I actually turned the 15 barrels of Oktoberfest into the dark lager on the second turn. So I never actually intentionally brewed that beer. And then it kind of just worked. So that's the story of how dark lager was born. And then people really liked it. I love it. And
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's how dark lager was born. We brewed an Oktoberfest, which is no longer available. We'll brew it again next year. And then Hoppy Pills. So Hoppy Pills, we don't make IPAs. So I had to do, kind of something that,
the hop pitch to show up there and get in there. Right?
Yeah. And honestly, I have the hop pitch every once in a while, and I have to drink a Hoppy Pills.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, really basic beer. Czech Pilsner malt and Mandarina and whole melon hops. And that's it.
Nice.
Actually, I shouldn't say that. There's a little carafoam in there. And then the black lager is, it's a Schwartz beer.
Yep.
Again, tried to keep it, as drinkable as I could. Didn't want to. I'm not a big fan of caramel malts, believe it or not. So there's not really a lot of caramel malt in any of my beers. There is a little bit of Cara Munich in the black lager, and there's actually Cara Munich 1 in the Holiday Bock. But other than that, I really kind of stay away from caramel malts. Mm-hmm. I don't really have a good reason for it other than my own personal preference.
That's enough right there.
Yeah.
But that's the lineup right now. Holiday Bock was, we were just making a big, Doppelbock. It's a lot of fun to brew.
Is it still on tap?
It's still on tap. We got a couple more.
I got. You know what? I mean, if I had extra time, I would have stopped by there today because I actually went right past you twice, up and back.
You got to take Matt. You got to get Matt there.
Yeah.
Matt's been there. Matt's been there.
Don't worry about.
Read the comments.
Yes, Matt has been there.
Hold on. I need to get down there and try the black lager. Love that style. Yeah. So we
get down there soon. Get him to pour you a Bakken.
Yeah. So I'm gonna save a half barrel just for the Bakkentans, but we got plenty. And don't worry about if we're open or not. Just come in.
Yeah, I got to get down there for that. Back. I mean, I still got another bottle of the Holiday Bock, but I'll actually sit on that for a little, just to.
Yeah, it should.
Why not? Just sit on it until next year. But But not that the bottle's delicious, but the draft is just ridiculous.
It's so good.
No,
it was funny because when John and I walked in, we saw it on there. We saw it was the highest ABV you had on there.
Mm-hmm.
I got a long drive back home. I'm like, but I really have to try this beer.
Yeah,
so we did it first.
Yeah,
well,
so we did it first.
We went reverse. We just
yeah. When me and Derek had it in the bright tank a couple nights, we were like, dude, we got to get this out of the bright tank. This is just dangerous. It'd be like, because we're used to having original lager in the bright tank, where it's just like you could drink a liter of that before you go home, no problem.
Yeah.
So anybody who's been following us know that the reason John and I went there together was because it was National Lager Day,
and I didn't even know it, which is ridiculous.
Andy was kind enough to host us, and we had Greg there, who was the previous host of Lager Day. Down at Source, so we had both our previous. We would really love to every year on Lager Day have all the previous hosts show up where we are.
All right, where are we going next year?
Yeah, after a few years, I don't know. That's going to become quite a crowd. I would love for Lager Day next year to be at where John's shirt came from.
That would be interesting.
That would be.
Actually, I'd love for Lager Day to be at another particular brewery, but I don't think that brewery will be open by then. It's going to be.
I was going to say that.
It would be nice. It would be nice.
I was gonna say.
Your brewery better be open by then.
No doubt.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Or we go out to Pittsburgh.
Or we got to Pittsburgh, yeah.
Or Denver.
Well, I'll go anywhere. Portland. Why not? Throw it out there. Go ahead.
Have you guys been to Cohesion?
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, going out to.
That's
he has. I've not.
Eric's a good buddy of mine. Beer's a killer.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Matt was actually there a week after they opened, and it was nuts.
No,
but
I got to get. I may get out there this year.
Yeah, they've got open fermentation. They've got some crazy shit.
It's just stupid. Yeah, it really is. But we got another comment. Is that Matt?
And that is Matt again.
One of my favorite places, he said. So yeah, such a good place. Cool. All right. What's coming up? Obviously, you Black Lager.
Before
you have a question? Yeah, you got a question.
So you start talking about your brewing process. How much you said in school you did microbiology? What did you do?
Yeah. Yep.
My
undergrad was microbiology.
How much of that has entered into your brewery?
Physical education was his major. No, I'm kidding.
So, yeah.
I was a communications major.
Yeah. I think that, college level and high school science, I use every single day.
Really?
Every single day. And my, doing conversions, writing recipes, all of that stuff is really just high school science. Counting yeast, and then you're looking on a hemocytometer, and then you have to take convert that into how much you need for an entire 60 barrel pitch or 30 barrel pitch. That's a high school science problem.
Right.
And then also just understanding glycolysis and some of the more deeper topics about yeast health and how they work, and just knowing the parts of a cell, that kind of stuff really plays into. Yeah, exactly. And when you start thinking about yeast cells bud, and they have cell walls, they need oxygen to produce sterols to make the cell wall pliable enough to make another cell. That kind of background understanding of things really helps understand what's going on in there. And that's why I say all the time, my wife's a teacher, she's a science teacher, and I was like, if you could just bring your kids into the brewery, it would be the perfect place to have a class. Yeah. You can teach high school science from the physics of pumps. Pump dynamics is physics. Mm-hmm. You have microbiology. You have, chemistry. Let's figure out what the pH is going to be when you add this much acid to that much liquid. Mm-hmm. That is high school science.
Thermodynamics.
Every single day.
So kids, here's a lesson for you. When you're in class and when am I ever going to use this in real life?
Exactly.
You never know.
There you go. You never know.
Start making beer, kids.
Start making beer.
Now, at 12. At 12, start making beer.
All right, Christmas list. Dear Santa, I would like one Mr. Beer Kit.
A Mr. Beer Kit.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to tell my son when he's old enough to be like, listen, man, you can drink a beer, but you got to make it, and I got to try it.
Yeah,
and if it's good, then you can drink it. You better plan the party like 3 weeks in advance.
No, you got to tell them if you make it, you have to drink all of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That way you force it into, I need to make this better because I don't want to drink what I just did again.
I love it. Yes. And then you're going to teach planning so we can really get a whole, full education into.
Yeah, I did that with my kids, with my boys, with cooking.
Yeah.
If you're going to make that, you eat it.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
If you don't like it, do better next time.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, every aspect of brewing has some kind of element of there's cooking elements to it. There's all the life skills you need can be taught in a brewery.
Oh, absolutely. There's a TED Talk out there called Beer is Cuisine.
Yeah.
Right. It's cooking there. And cooking to me is, I love to cook. To me, cooking is art. Brewing is art.
Yeah.
You've got your palate, all these different ways to change the flavor of the beer.
Yeah. It's dial. So when I got out of college, I was a cook first, and I was going to actually go to culinary school, and I decided to go to brewing school because, home brewing took over my life.
There you go. And so it's artistry and science combined.
Exactly.
It's an awesome thing, and sometimes I still have to pinch myself that it's what I do for a living. Ever since I've been doing this for a living, I'm like, holy shit, this is what I do for a living. This is awesome. Okay,
so this might be, John, will this be the third or fourth person that I have now asked this question? Because the first person we asked this question to, we got a surprise answer. There's a statement out there that if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that statement and what you do?
Put it this way. If I won the lottery for $100 billion or some ridiculous amount, I would just put my brewery in my basement and homebrew on a production scale and give it away because I love it. And Derek has been doing such a good job. He's become a phenomenal brewer too, and he loves it too. And it's just like, I want to collect those people.
Yep.
Where it's just like, brewing is fun. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but it's very fun, right? Yeah.
Paint this picture that it's just like, it's just this fun activity. Like, it's a lot of work. It's very hard, but it's so rewarding and so much fun.
It's about 80% janitorial.
It's
more than that. It's 99% janitorial.
Yeah, but all that kind of grueling shit is just like,
it's like
I'm sitting behind a desk. It's better than all of, as far as I'm concerned,
my life.
Yeah,
exactly. Matt,
if
also,
you want to work off a hangover, go to a brewery.
Go to a brewery. Yeah, exactly.
hair of the dog.
Yeah. That and shoveling out a mash tun will
exactly
clear you out. It's like a sauna and enough activity that you feel good by the end of it.
Which we call Matt. I just throw this up there because we were talking about it. Matt said he loves his night shift shirt. Beer is art. Absolutely, it's art. Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. Any what beer's coming up this year? Is that anything new on the horizon? So I'm sure there'll be other stuff as the year goes on, but that of right now that you're going to be.
So right now, I'm going to do a Vienna lager, which is actually one of my personal favorite styles. Nice. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I want to do another hoppy beer, and I'm kind of still trying to figure out what I should do. I was thinking about doing like a I don't know if you guys ever heard of the malt Red X.
Yeah.
Best makes it, and it makes beer like red.
Sure.
And it's kind of like a Munich style malt. Thought maybe doing like a red beer with hopped up.
That'd be. I've not come across anything like that.
Yeah, I want to do something a little bit off off the beaten track. And actually, I was talking with the Twin Lights guys about doing something like that, actually possibly together. So I want to do something. I think I need another hoppy beer. I even thought about doing like a wheat lager. I know that I don't think that's even like a style necessarily.
Right.
And then we're gonna do a Mexican lager in the summer for sure. And yeah, as the seasons change, we'll kind of figure it out as we go. But right now, the next beer will be a Vienna, our next release.
Nice, very nice.
Which is a style that holds a very big place in my heart. I love that beer.
Need to open another beer.
Matt threw a couple of things up there. He just said, I did a red Belgian triple out in Denver with Red X.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
It's a cool ass malt.
It's really cool, yeah. And he says, I think it would be cool to do a single hop lager series.
Totally. Well, I already am.
There you go.
No, I mean Hirschbrucker is kind of my workhorse right now. I really love that hop, and the German yield was pretty bad this year. Your German hops took a pretty good hit. Hirschbrucker seemed to make it through in decent shape, at least from what I can tell so far. Talking to some guys out there, I think Mittelfrüh kind of took the brunt of it. So I'm curious to see what the Mittelfrüh is going to be like in the next year or so.
Right. Yeah. That it should be. I mean, it could go either way, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. But all right. What do you pour there, Dave?
I mean, I had to mix things up a little bit, so I went with a.
You went with a Birdsmouth Dark Lager?
This is the third one I've opened tonight. That might kill my stash, which means I need to get down.
We'll just have to go back there. That's all.
Yeah,
my stash don't come back until next week. I ran out of cans.
Well, no, I'll just pick up some black lager. That's fine.
Works for me. Well, I was supposed to get my cans delivered today, and then I would have had, but they got pushed a day, so everything gets pushed back a day, which it is what it is.
So if I come this weekend, what's going to be in cans?
Dark lager and black lager.
Okay.
And then the following week, I'll have original and hoppy pill. So I'll have 4 beers in cans, and I still have holiday Bach bottles.
There you go.
There we go.
That
I went a little ape shit bottle in that.
Nothing wrong with that.
You went a little ape shit bottle.
A little ape shit bottle.
That's fine. I may actually pick up another bottle, but I definitely got to have a draft of it. So
yeah,
that's for sure.
It's hanging around. There's a couple bottles left.
Well, like you said, I've got one of the places I do want to hit is there's that new brewery in Freehold.
Gotta go check that out, Tim.
Yeah.
So Tim comes from Kane as well, and such a badass brewer, such a good friend of mine. Can't wait to go and try what the hell he's got going on because I know it's going to be good.
I don't know if we got going this weekend, but we might wind up there.
Yeah, he's got a Kolsch I heard was really nice. He's got an American lager, and then he's got a bunch of IPAs and stuff. And I can confidently say anything coming out of Tim's kettle is going to be pretty good.
Awesome,
nice,
awesome. That's great. Last thing on Matt, he just said when you said that you're already doing a single hop lager series.
Yeah.
It's a great mind.
Exactly.
Oh, Matt's assuming he's got a great mind.
He does.
Love you, Matt. Of course you do.
Well, I mean, I have to say that, right?
You have to. He's your partner. I don't have to say it, but I'll say it anyway.
There you go. All right, cool.
Yeah, you mentioned American lager.
You did mention American lager, so that kind of leads us into I don't know, this section of our show called the top 3 list. So let's get there now. Top 3s, we do Andy, we do a top 3 list for a couple of reasons. One, when Dave and I were first doing the show, before we had guests, like early 2.5 years ago, we started the top 3 list. It was just he and I. Yeah, so it was just he and I. So we did 2 top 3 lists, mine and his. 1933, the repeal of prohibition. We, paying homage to repeal prohibition. Plus, the other reason was if we do a top 10 list, it would take too long. So
yeah,
because we each do our own, right?
Also, I don't know if I can think of 10 or like right off the top of my head.
Oh, the funny thing is, John and I never stick to 3 though.
We normally put 4 or 5 in there anyway.
Yeah, really?
It's the top 3-ish.
You guys are so much better at traveling and drinking beer.
We'll see how John's travels get stymied now that he owns a brewery.
Yeah,
I'm still free as a bird.
Free as a bird, yeah. Well, I'll live vicariously through you, Dave.
Yes, because this year I will be in Ireland and I will go to St. James Gate.
You will do that, I'm sure.
And I'm going to possibly see if they'll allow me while I'm there to go on Facebook Live when we're on the tour and they're teaching you how to pour Guinness.
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
And if I can go Facebook Live on that, that'll be a lot of fun.
I think you should. So anyway, our top 3 list tonight is top 3 favorite American lagers not brewed in New Jersey. Now, normally what we do would be top 3 favorite American, and I'm going to change this too. Top 3 favorite American lagers not brewed by Birdsmouth or Coastal for that matter. But we're gonna add in the word brewed. So top 3 favorite American brewed lagers, not American lagers, American brewed lagers, not brewed in New Jersey. So let's let Andy kick it off. Please have at it, sir.
We mentioned it before. Cohesion. I like the 12 Plato. Beers kick ass. Number 2. I haven't had it in a long time. But you ever hear of Middle James Brewing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Middle James Brewing made an adjunct lager. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was called My Old Man. But it was like just
that's a great name for an adjunct lager.
Yeah, and I think
wow.
So one of the brewers' names is Andrew. I went to brewing school with him.
Nice.
And the beer was phenomenal. It was like you could just drink a gallon of that shit. It was awesome.
I love when that happens. I really do.
Yeah. And then Palantine from Suarez is a fantastic beer. I enjoy that a lot.
It absolutely is.
And I will say, so I went to an MBAA meeting at Budweiser, and I got to drink a beer like right off the line. And I'm not adding this to the list, so I guess I'm going to do the same thing as you guys and go over the.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Because Bierstadt would be in there too. Slowport Pills is awesome. So I had a beer off the line at Budweiser, and it was delicious. Like I was blown away. It's like a little estery. It's like totally different than what I have ever had at a draft or a bottle, and it just kind of depressed me a little bit because I was like, shit, freshness really matters. And these guys package shit really, really well. And I was just like, and this beer is awesome. So that's probably
Matt can speak to that too, because he's actually done that. I haven't, but he's actually done the same thing, and he said the same thing you did too.
The beer's really good. You're like, damn, like if they haven't figured out a way to get this into people's glasses at a bar,
right?
Like it's a tough thing to do. Because that beer was good, really good. Yeah. It was probably a beer that I've had in the last year that really kind of surprised me. Not last year. This was a few years ago. That surprised me the most.
Right. Well, I like to think, right, because I haven't had it. I haven't had the pleasure of having that. But have you ever had Budvar, Czechvar?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great beer. It really is. It really tasty.
The beer of kings.
Right. And it's really it's really tasty. And that's what the Budweiser recipe was derived from.
Yeah.
You would imagine that if it's super, super fresh, it's going to taste something similar to that. That's where my mind was going with that. So
you should hope.
if you had Czechvar or Budvar, you've actually, you can speak to that. Was it close to that? Was it similar to that? Or,
you know what? I was taken back by how it was like this. It was estery, but it was in an amazing way. Yeah, it was not like estery, like Belgian estery or anything like that. It was just had this kind of like freshness that hit you that I was taken aback by.
Yeah, because usually in that beer,
like a graininess that you never get in a bottle or a draft anywhere.
Yeah,
well, maybe it's because the Beechwood was so fresh right then. He had those esters in that. Yeah. But after a while.
I guess, estery for a lager is different than saying estery for the whole beer world. You know what I mean?
It's true, but to your point, with the normal bottles that you get, very little of the yeast expresses itself in that bottle.
Right.
So to get that yeast expression off the line like that, I can imagine that doing a lot for that beer.
Yeah, it was just a freshness and just kind of like a refreshingness. And it was just a grainy kind of fit. And it was just like you could drink a gallon of this shit.
And this was up in Newark at another.
Yeah, it was in Newark.
I gotcha.
Bud Heavy off the line is
Bud Heavy right off the line.
Delicious.
I love it. I'll throw this up really quick. Matt said his buddy built Anheuser's canning line in Fort Collins, Colorado. 3,000 cans a minute. Yep, 130 packs a minute.
That's ridiculous.
That is insane.
That's crazy.
They're brewing into 6,000 barrel fermenters.
That's disgusting.
His buddies, I don't know if you know him, Dustin Kraft. Do you know Dustin Kraft?
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about.
That's
the
the irony is that Dustin Kraft worked for Big Beer.
Yeah, and I've actually talked to Dustin. He said the biggest mash tun he's ever seen was 1,100 barrels.
Oh my God!
Oh, I'm sorry, lauter ton.
Lauter ton.
1,100 barrel lauter ton.
Yeah,
that's insane.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Wow.
Oh man. All right. Samurai. How about it?
So when John gave me the top 3, he told me top 3 American lagers. So I went with American lagers rather than American brewed lagers.
Well, you know what? I was thinking American brewed, and I misspoke myself. I told Andy. Andy came up with American brewed lagers. I did too. So you had that.
I just gave myself by throwing Budweiser in there.
There you go.
I'm gonna stick with my. So I'm gonna stick with my original list. I'll throw some things out there which will take us into the American brewed, but I'm going to stick with the American lagers. Number 3 being Little Neck Lager by Bunker Brewing out of Portland. Nice. Bunker Brewing, I really think, is one of the most underrated breweries in Portland.
Somebody else agrees with you.
Yes, that would be the person sitting over there.
Right.
But then that leads me to one of my favorite American brewed lagers, and that would be The Machine. That is, oh my God, that is such a good beer. And it's funny because I always think, okay, I was in Portland. It was kind of cool to be there. And maybe I overrated this beer. But every time since then I've had this beer, like, this is why I love this beer. It's, you drink it again and it still blows you away. So you can drink a beer 3-4 different places because you can find it on tap in New York City.
You can
3 or 4 different places, and you put it in your face, and it's like, God, I love this beer. It's like, no, I did not overrate it the first time I had it. This is really a special beer. Number 2,
the first time you and I have both had it at the brewery, but the first time you and I had it was actually at Brian's house.
That's right, and it was a bottle share, and drinking lagers and pilsners at a bottle share is usually not what you're used to. So, but it was great then. Then had it at the brewery, and then had it in so many other places, and it is just a special beer. Number 2 of my American lagers would be Finest by Interborough. Our buddy Jesse out there in Brooklyn. That is, he does a great job with that beer. He's one of those IPA heavy breweries, so having him do something like this and doing it well, it's quite a refreshing thing, and I love that. My number 1 American lager, and they're not known for this, is Classic Lager by Captain Lawrence. That is, I love that beer. I really, really love that beer. It is so clean, refreshing. I can sit and drink classic lager all day. And it's one of those, like, again, it's one of those things like, maybe it was just the circumstances that I really like that beer. And then I open another one like, nope, I need to like this beer. I really like this beer.
It's great when a beer proves itself like that.
But when, John said, no, American brewed lagers, I'm like, well, it's going to break it down to basically 3 breweries for me. And that's going to be Human Robot. Because here's the interesting thing is that the milk tube from Human Robot, it doesn't matter what beer they're using for their milk tube. On Untappd, they list it as an American lager.
Right.
But they never use an American lager in it.
Because it's a check-in for milk tube, so it doesn't matter what it is. It's milk tube American lager. It doesn't matter what they put in it. Right, yeah.
And I remember going to Human Robot, seeing the milk tube thing. It was the first time I'd ever experienced milk tubes. And I'm looking at it going, this is such a damn gimmick, but I'm here. I've got to try it. I had 3 of them.
Yeah.
Because they're so much fun. I remember doing a milk tube at Birdsmouth, watching Greg's wife destroy one of the other companies. It was awesome. Awesome.
We won't mention Ed's name.
No, don't mention Ed's name.
Don't mention Ed's name.
But just right. Oh my God, that was an impressive showing. So there's that. But it would come down to like 3 breweries for me because, again, I've not been to Cohesion. What's the one in Denver, John?
Bierstadt.
That I've not been to those 2. So for me, it's Human Robot, Brewery Sylvaticus. John, you still need to get there.
I still need to get there. Yeah, I mean, I've been up to Boston 3 or 4 times.
But it's
went there. It's an hour ride or 45 minutes to an hour ride, and we're doing a bunch of stuff in Boston. It's an hour and a half to 2 hours travel plus the time of summer.
It's up at the New Hampshire border.
It's got to be a on the way to Portland stop. It can't be a let's go there while we're in Boston stop.
We were on our way back from Portland when we hit it.
Right.
They are doing amazing things there.
Yeah.
And I had a 3rd brewery on that list, and I can't remember it right now.
There you
go. But if we'd gone to American brewed lagers, the list would have been entirely very, very different. But I'm sticking to the American lagers, sticking to that.
All right.
Some really, really good stuff. Not brewed in Jersey. Otherwise,
this
would have
been it would be different. It would be different. Let's face it, it would be different. Yeah.
Because we'd see some Source on there.
Hell yes.
You guys haven't done an American lager yet.
No.
Mm-hmm. So I can't say
Birdsmouth. We'll catch it around on the next go around.
There you go.
Carton would have been on there.
Sure. All right. All
So,
right.
John, what do you got?
I'll give you mine. Only one you took of mine, but I'm going to replace it with something else, so I'll use it as an honorable mention.
I only took what? Machine.
Yeah. Right. So my honorable mention is Machine from Bunker Brewing, American Lager from Bunker up in Portland. So I'm replacing it with my number 3. And my number 3 would be Hacienda Lime. It's a Mexican lager from Bunker Brewing. Very well brewed Mexican lager. Really, we're up at Bunker. When we were up at Bunker last time, I probably had 2 or 3 of them while I was there because it was that good. Other than the Machine, bought a 4-pack of it to go. Drank the 4-pack at the hotel before we left Portland. Went back to Bunker and bought another 4-pack to take home.
Nice.
That was very. It was very good. It was very.
You
good.
really need to put up Matt's last comment because maybe he's been into a couple 6-packs, 4-packs. Couple 750s.
I'll let you read it because you have the take on it, what you're saying there. So here's Matt's last comment. And this is talking about Budweiser and the 11,000.
I like this. They literally launched
They literally launched
an inflatable boat to clean engine their tanks.
Inflatable boat.
Inflatable.
Set me up, boys.
Inflatable.
Inflatable. They literally launched an inflatable boat to clean. All right.
So you can't
another instance of what Matt likes to call Sasquatch fingers.
The fat finger.
I really think
the fat finger.
I think he's a few Belgian triples in, maybe.
Maybe. This is true.
Inflatable.
Inflatable.
Oh, you're never living.
Well, he got it close. I mean, inflatable.
No, he's never living down. Inflatable.
I don't even want to go where he might have been going, but I'm leaving that alone.
So. We're off the air with Matt. We'll go there.
All right. So anyway, number 3, Hacienda Lime Mexican Lager from Bunker Brewing. My number 2, Polo Tomave 12 Plato from Czech Dog Lager from Human Robot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they make a lot of good lagers there. That's number 1.
Oh, and I've got something on my list here I forgot to mention.
It's the best there. Number 1 there, I think. But
I've written in big letters on my notepad here. Sacred Profane.
Oh yeah. That's a Czech Dog Lager too.
And
no, it's a Schwarzbier, right?
No, it's Czech. It's Czech. No, they brought over Czech.
Oh, Sacred Profane. I'm thinking. What was the name of the Schwarzbier that Brewery Sylvaticus did?
Oh crap! I can't remember.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Anyway,
no, that was
Profane, right. They're just a all Czech lager brewery.
They've got 2 beers. They've got a pale and a dark.
Light and dark. That's it.
And they brought over.
Hopefully one day they will replace the Pabst that's getting served at McSorley's with their light and their darks.
But their system is they're one of the few actual Czech brewing systems that has been allowed to come over to the United States because they went over, they learned under a lot of people under there, over there, and they like them so much. Like, so we're going to let you take this and bring this over. Right. So they're not a tap room. They're a tank room because the tanks sit over top of the bar.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an impressive place in Biddeford, Maine. If you're on your way to Portland, stop there first.
The next time I go to any city, I'm going to call you guys and be like,
we'll give you the list.
Yeah, I think Bunker has got to be on my list at some point.
All right, you got to go to Bunker, yeah.
And because they're literally 5 minutes from Bissell Brothers.
From Bissell Brothers, yeah.
They're right there. And we'll also tell you the best places to eat.
Yeah.
John and I know all
the I'm going to have you guys on speed dial next time me and my wife.
Do it. You got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit us up.
All right. So Hacienda Lime, number 3, Polo Tomave, 12 Plato, number 2. My number 1, Malternate Universe. It's a single bock from Night Shift Brewing. Shocker. I like a Night Shift.
Big shocker. Night Shift makes number 1.
That's an amazing bock. It really is. Malternate Universe. It's so good. It's so tasty. And they only do it. I think they only done it like 2 or 3 times. But I bought enough of it each time they did it, so I was all right.
I've never had that one.
It's really, really good. It's a really tasty. It's a really tasty box. So there are mine. There you go.
Nice.
There we go. All right. Any events coming up that you're involved in or going to do at the brewery?
Before you get there, I want to ask them one thing.
For it. Please do.
Sure.
You are in Fort Monmouth. There was an announcement made a couple months ago that a lot of Fort Monmouth is going to be leveled and replaced with.
A lot of it's already leveled.
Yes.
Yes.
But Netflix is coming in and putting their studios in.
Yeah.
That has got to be absolutely thrilling because you may have people in your brewery that are known stars.
Yeah. I mean, we were kind of. I mean, I hope that's the case.
He may have people he may have filming in his brewery.
If they need a brewery set, I got it.
There's one right on campus there.
Yeah,
right?
That's it. Yeah, when we kind of, I guess, got lucky with that. But honestly, whatever they were going to do in Fort Monmouth, I think we would have been in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
But
it's really super cool that they got Netflix coming in.
Because you're going to get the filming crew in, right?
Yeah.
Because the working class guys, they're like, there's a brewery here? Where?
And we kind of make that kind of beer.
Yeah. Yeah. Those guys,
you know
this is what they drink.
Guys probably dig our brewery.
Right.
Are you prepared to make sure that you've got enough kegs that if they've got a kegerator set up, that you can just send that stuff right over there?
Yeah. Primarily wholesale is what we want to do. So if we need to ramping up production is really production brewing is where my heart is as far as what I want for that place.
Dave, you and I have been through the cold box. You know damn well how many kegs he has there.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
I'm just waiting to flip the switch.
What's been really, really cool is if like on like these Netflix series or movies or whatever they do, they're sitting there drinking a beer and there's a can of Birdsmouth in their hand.
Some
product
placement would be fantastic.
Awesome. Just send over cases. Go, yeah, here you go. You got some beer.
Yep. We signed that lease, more than a year ago, before that even talk was happening. And then we signed a lease, and then they started talking about that, and we were just like, "Oh man, that's going to be sweet."
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
The only thing that would kind of almost suck about that is if they're doing filming there and have to like close things down because they're doing certain filming and people can't get to you.
Yeah.
That's
I think people have trouble getting there now.
Yeah, really. I don't think that would happen because of where he's located.
Yeah, because you got 3 ways into you, actually.
Yeah. And then when my landlord's done with their phase 3, which will happen before Netflix is done, way before Netflix is done, they're actually going to have different ways to get to me that are make a little bit more sense than now.
Right. Are they
and
going?
I feel terrible when people come to the brewery and they're like, we've been driving around Fort Monmouth for 15 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Are they gonna fix any of the bomb craters?
So I talked to them today about especially at night, like someone's like you can just see people bottoming out their cars leaving, and I'm just like, oh my God, like Yeah, I'm like, we got to go throw a steel plate or something on that crater in the middle of the parking lot. But I talked to the landlord and I was like, listen, man, I know that this is part of your construction plan in a couple of years, but you gotta juice the road up for me because people are like literally bottoming out there like, SUVs.
the only parking lot worse than yours is got to be Cricket Hills.
Yeah, but that parking lot's been that way for about 20 years.
Yeah, they're never fixing it. It's part of the charm.
Part of the charm of the brewery. Absolutely.
Honestly, I'll go get some patch some holes, at least the big ones.
Right.
Oh, there are some massive
There's
ones.
some massive ones.
There are Tunnelly Avenue sized potholes in your parking lot.
I know. It's terrible.
That's bad. So, all right. So, like I said, any events that you're involved in, going to do with the brewery, anything coming up in the near future?
So, when I get all the packaged goods back online, we're going to have a, bye-bye dry January party.
Which is today because it's like I said. At the top of the
I
show.
know. You guys keep me in the loop with what the day is. I didn't know it was National Hat Day.
I'll have to send you the calendar as I make it.
Yeah, please send me the calendar.
Shoot me your email address and I'll send it off to you.
Yeah, I'd like to know that. And then, so one thing I don't know when the date is going to be. When I want to have an old school keg party. So like kegs and buckets, hand pumps.
Wait a second. Oh, keg stands? Are keg stands allowed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just do it like a 90s keg party is like something I want to get into. I haven't really kind of worked out the details.
Are you going to get those old, you've got to rent the keg tap?
Yes.
Like the little hose thingy.
Yep.
Oh, God.
And I was actually thinking we put them around the brewery and we have each one of our servers and we can have like an inter-brewery competition of who can kick the keg first.
So good. Everyone gets a certain amount. Okay, you guys are over there. You guys are over there. You guys are
exactly
over there.
like a team. Be like, all right. So I'm still trying to kind of hash out the details on that because it was just a random idea I had. Right. So we'll do that in the summer.
Please, when you do that, you need to be blasting Guns N' Roses.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes, I want to get like a DJ. I'm going to get a DJ for that.
Oh, you definitely need that.
A DJ, play some 90s tunes, and just do old school, which I can't believe 90s is old school keg party.
Yeah, right.
And then what do we got? St. Patty's Day. We're going to try to get some live music going on for St. Patty's Day. I'm going to pour the Black and Tans.
Bach and Tans.
Bach and Tans. Yeah, Bach and Tans.
Thank you for the corrections, right? Bach and Tans. And then, when the Vienna Lager gets released, we'll try to do something, at the brewery for that. Nice. Cinco de Mayo, I'm trying to get the Mexican lager out by then.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. And then every kind of seasonal beer release we get, I'm still building out the calendar for the year, but yeah, we'll have some fun this year.
Nice. Very nice. You plan on doing any outside events, any fests or anything?
So we got Bikes and Beer wants to do an event at our place. We're trying to work out the details of that. I think that's going to be, I'd have to ask my wife exactly when, or my business partner, Rocco. I think that's May.
Rocco. Not sure. Love that name, Rocco.
Yeah. So
the guy, Rocco.
Me and Rocco started the brewery together.
Okay, cool.
He's kind of backs up the strengths that I have in the brewing side. He's got the financial, end of it.
Normally a name like Rocco, he's the one with the garrote.
Well, you guys met Rocco last time.
I met Rocco. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right.
I haven't met Rocco yet.
I was just texting with Rocco the other day.
Yeah, he's a pretty knowledgeable guy when it comes to things that are in his wheelhouse. He knows his shit for sure, and very happy to be partnered up with him because between me knowing brewing and him knowing the business side, I think we're a good team. Exactly. And then we've been kicking around the idea of doing some collabs with a couple breweries. Nothing's like set in stone yet, but hopefully we can get that off the ground this year. Do a couple of those. We didn't do any. We haven't done any yet. So 2023 will be fun. Yes. Hell yes.
That'll be a fun one if Coastal Brew Works and Birdsmouth get a collab out there.
There you go.
Yeah,
because I know Matt really wants to sink his teeth into more lagers.
Yeah, I think every brewer doesn't.
Sure, why not? You got it. You're right. We just What you call it? Yeah, we did one with Icarus. We did the New Zealand Pills.
Nice.
A couple in the fridge right there.
Hey, ounces of Coastal Feather.
I'm not opening another one. I have to go into the office tomorrow. So
there you go. You got to do that. Any outside stuff you going to do that at AC Beer Fest or any of the other beer fests?
We're doing. Is it the Brewlosophy one?
Brewsology.
Thank you.
I'll be there.
We'll be there too.
It's on my wife's due date, so either Derek, Rocco, I will try to be there, but I might not be. But yeah, that's the one they invited us to that. Other than that, we haven't really dug into too many things. We're just kind of still getting our feet underneath us when it comes to a lot of the offsite stuff.
I'm really impressed with the lineup that Brewsology put together.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's awesome.
And it's supposed to be a really, really, really cool event because they've done a bunch of these in science centers all around the country. And from what they say, that's it's really, really, really
this
cool.
is the first time this is being done. And usually when you get
in New Jersey, but they've done it in other, that's what I'm saying.
But when you get like a first time out of the gate thing, you usually don't see this kind of lineup that they have.
It's a kick-ass lineup for sure.
Oh my God, this lineup's amazing.
I mean, I heard they even have Birdsmouth and Coastal going to be there.
I've heard that. And getting those two breweries right there.
Quite a coup.
Yeah. Give me VIP. I need that extra hour drinking their stuff.
All right. There you go. Matt just said right now he's sinking his teeth into a German Pils from Root and Branch.
Nice.
Okay, so I can guarantee you it probably took him about 10 minutes to type that.
No.
Correct. Type. Yeah. Yeti fingers.
Yep.
Just use the voice to speech. I mean that'll do it, right?
No, he's probably slurring right now. I don't think that would have worked.
No, he's fine.
I'm sure he's fine. I'm just making fun of him. You're never living down infilatable.
Or is he? Anyway, all right. Cool. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff going on. Look, everybody, check out all of their social media, Facebook, Twitter, of course, their website, anything else, Birdsmouth Beer, and find out everything going on at the brewery, all of those wonderful events that Andy mentioned, and, of course, all the great beers that are coming out as well. Look out for that Vienna Lager. I got to get up there for some of that black lager. Obviously, Samurai does too. Matt's going to come up. Yep. We're going to get up there. I got to have another pour of the or 2 or 5 of the
just make sure your shocks are in good order before you.
It's flowing. Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, I'll just go during the day so I can see them in Serpentine.
Yeah, you can go right around them.
I'm going to get them fixed. I got till Thursday when we open.
There you go. But yeah, there's a lot of that going on. And if you're not doing anything on February 11th, the night before the Super Bowl, and it's a night event. It's 5 to 9, right? It's 5 to 9 on Saturday, February 11th. Brewsology. It's in Liberty Science Center in Jersey City. It's going to be a fantastic event, and there's a lot of people, a lot of great breweries going to be there, a lot of great Jersey breweries going to be there, and you might even see the 3 people on the show right now there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Depending upon contractions.
Exactly. Yes. Depending upon contractions. Exactly. So maybe she goes early and you're there.
You
maybe
definitely
she's nowhere near getting, having contractions and you're there. And maybe you're a daddy for the second time that night. So,
but you will definitely see Johnny and I there.
Yeah. So, and Birdsmouth.
Yeah. Birdsmouth Beer will be there.
Yeah.
Get Derek, who's he's been brewing his nuts off at Birdsmouth, so
and that's a technical term, folks.
Yes,
that is.
I should have asked you guys in the beginning of the show. Is like cursing okay on the show? Because I've been doing.
No, you're not allowed to fucking curse on the show. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I can't help myself.
We would have no show if cursing wasn't allowed.
Exactly.
Wouldn't be able to speak.
Exactly. It would be like. We gotta have somebody with a censorship button, like a 7-second delay, and just keep muting us or button.
It'd be a just long stream of beeps,
or just the drop. All of a sudden it just jumps ahead to the next thing. Anyway, all right. On that note, though, Andy, we both want to thank you for coming on the show today.
Of course,
absolutely.
Amazing show, really. Yeah, it was a great show. I hope everybody learned a little bit more about Birdsmouth, and if you didn't learn enough, get there.
Yes.
Get to in Monmouth County, in Fort Monmouth, Oceanport, New Jersey. Get to Birdsmouth Beer. When do you open? You open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yep.
Hours? You want to put them out there?
Oh yeah. So it's 4 to 8 on Thursday, 4 to 9 on Friday. Saturday is 12 to 9. Sunday is 12 to 7.
There you go. Perfect.
And then in the summer, we might expand those hours. But for now,
fair enough.
With production going on and everything else.
Of course. Absolutely. So get there. And if you missed anything, obviously hit their social media and hit their website and find that out. Get over there and check out everything that they're doing. Again, Andy, thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We were more than happy to have you.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. See that? He cursed.
That makes me feel better.
There you go. Now we're all better. But on that note, we will wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.logroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, I didn't say it wasn't that funny. Come on.
Oof.
Was that a video game?
Yeah, that's Carrie's son.
There you go.
He knows I'm live, but he can't hold.
Well, at least he waited an hour and a half before he started.
He did, and
kudos to him for that.
In his defense, my microphone picks up everything.
Oh yeah, I mean, he could take a spoon and very quietly place it in the sink, and it sounds like that.
Well, the boiler in my basement just went on. I'm wondering if you guys can hear that.
Oh, we heard it, yeah. But it was as loud as it wasn't loud, but the volume that was, it's nothing compared to him placing a spoon.
And we're lucky as hell that there was no fire alarms.
No. He's right around the corner from Firehouse too.
So just one street over, the fire trucks come roaring down that. You would think they were tearing through the living room.
There you go. He has a very, very, very good microphone. So that's what he's trying to say.
That was a gift from the ladies in the room over there.
There you go. Anyway, and please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with video podcasts on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Andy, once again, thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Very much.
Don't sign off. Hang on. We'll talk to you for a second after we sign off. And drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye now.